This is our first harvest at 5 o'clock in the morning, August 13th, Sauvignon Blanc in the Yountville appellation. We like to do this early morning harvesting for many reasons. One, it gets the crews started early in the day so they can go home early, especially if it's warm. And the second part is it gives a chance for the winery to get started on the processing and get it in the tanks while it's still fairly cool fruit. Each and every workday, the crews, no matter what their job or task is going to be, they'll do some just exercises, loosening the muscles, much like a pitcher will or an athlete will. Just kind of get limber a little bit, and it helps reduce our injuries quite a bit throughout the day. You can see it's a very quick eye-hand coordination. One hand goes on the cluster, the other hand is striking with the sharp knife to remove the cluster from the cane, and it's a very quick action. And again, it's just because of experience, they just know where that cluster is going to be and how to cut it without cutting the cane off the vine or doing damage to themselves with that sharp knife. By doing excessive leaf pulling, especially on the morning side of the vines, the fruit is very accessible for early morning harvesting, such as we're doing right now. Virtually there's no canopy covering the clusters, and they can access the fruit very easily, cutting it nicely and placing it in the pans very easily to harvest, especially with the night lights that we have. The picking pans that they're using, they've put approximately 20-25 pounds of fruit in there. We try to stress not to overfill them and have to lift 40 or 50 pounds each time, but they're more efficient if they're around that 25-30 pound limit. Each one of the white boxes that are on this trailer hold approximately 1,000 pounds of fruit. They don't have to be mounded up, but just kind of a normal little rise in them. So each half-ton, we call them half-ton boxes or micro bins, they'll hold about 1,000 pounds of fruit. Cabernet being a little bit lighter variety, it's a little bit less in weight, whereas Sauvignon Blanc could be 1,100 or 1,200 pounds depending on the clusters in the vineyards. Harvesting crews, they also wear reflective vests. That helps for each, they can see each other a little bit easier. They got reflective stripes on them. With their headlamps, especially working at night, it makes it a little bit easier for crews to be seen, especially by the tractor driver or whomever might be passing by. So they're very lightweight. They don't weigh anything, but they provide a little bit of protection as far as being visible. This morning we have a fog cover, and it's about 58 degrees. Again, it's a good working temperature, if you will. It's not too cold and it's not too warm. And the fruit is also going to maintain that 58 degrees plus or minus for quite a while, especially when it gets to the winery. So again, the winery doesn't have to do extra chilling or whatever their processes are over there. But in general, picking early in the morning like this is a very favorable thing, especially here in the Napa Valley. We provide at least one monitor to follow behind the crew to make sure that they have picked up everything off the ground and or there's no vines or partial vines missed. They can just go by, and if they see a lot of fruit, they can call that individual back to come clean up his mess, if you will. But other than that, we feel monitoring is very important. Helps make sure that everybody's working on doing a good clean job of harvesting and not leaving anything behind. That's pretty evident when you look inside these vines here after a crew has gone through. There's virtually nothing left at all. This is the Sauvignon Blanc that the guys were picking this morning at 5 o'clock, and we're at the winery here about 8:30 right now, and it's had a little christening of the inaugural harvest for the new winery at Gamble Family. And they're getting ready to weigh and start processing the fruit. So they're having a little get together here with everybody. Also, this marks the winemaker Jim Close's 10th anniversary as winemaker for Gamble Family. I've been involved with the Gamble Family since 1996 or 97 it seems like, when Tom bought the property where we picked this from. But anyway, so we've had many successful harvests together. And again, we're kind of inaugurating the new winery facility that's still basically under construction, but in the finishing throes, as we say. All state-of-the-art, new tanks and presses. And in the past, Tom's always had to outsource another winery for a custom crush, but now he'll be able to do everything here at his own winery.